Good morning. Hi students. Welcome back to yet another historic lecture. This is lecture 9. I have 9 impossible words for you. By the way, I'm at Gyeonggi-dae, and normally it's very quiet. Usually there's not that many people here, but today there's an aptitude test, like a college entrance exam, and there are lots of people walking around, so we might have some visitors today, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started, guys. The first one, it's a verb. I assume you know it, but just in case, it's inquire. Please say it with me. Inquire. It just means to ask a question, to find out some information. What do I have? Yeah, just that. She emailed her professor. I'm just looking at your example here. She emailed her professor to inquire or ask when the test scores would be posted. In Korean, mutta or alaboda. Am I saying that correctly? Anyway, I think you know this word, inquire. By the way, I do not have it on your handout, but sometimes people say, might I inquire? Like they begin the sentence with that, and you fill in the blank with whatever it is you want to know. Like, might I inquire your age? It's very formal and kind of fancy, but it sounds nice, it's eloquent. Of course you can say, may I ask you your age? Exact same meaning. One is a little more fancy or eloquent. So, might I inquire when we are to depart? Might I inquire blah blah blah. So just means, may I ask you something? Okay, moving on. Next one, perplexing. It's an adjective. The verb is perplex. You might know this one too. It just means confusing. What do I have here? Confusing, often because you do not know how to solve something, like a puzzle. That's perplexing. Do you ever feel perplexed? Many of you have told me you didn't use this exact word, but I deduced you felt perplexed on the midterm exam. Perplexing, confusing, often because you do not know how to solve something. Like, oh, that's perplexing. That's that. Next one, guys. I mentioned there are 9 words here. Out of all of the words on this handout, this next one I use the most. I'm not saying it's my favorite, but in terms of practical English, I personally use this word in my everyday English. Frugal. It's kind of a strange word. It's an adjective. Please say it with me. Frugal. Again, frugal. It has to do with money. Being frugal is being careful with your money. That is, not spending too much. What do I have? Careful about spending money. So look at the example. This comes right from your handout here, guys. She only had a tiny amount of money to spend each week, so she was forced. So she had no choice. She was forced to be frugal. She had to be careful with her money. I know many of you, of course, are university students and don't have a lot of spending money. I don't know your circumstances, but some students have told me like their mom or dad will give them a certain amount of money per week or per month, and you know, they cannot spend extravagantly at Apgujeong Rodeo. They have to, you know, go to the cafeteria on campus or Gimbap Changguk or something like that. In Korean, what is it? Jaoyak Hanan or Gamsohan? Are you frugal? Students, you don't mind if I have a sip of my coffee, do you? I know someone who's frugal. My mom. May I show you a photograph of my mom? This is a very old photograph. What year was it taken? 1979, so 42 years ago. This is a photograph of my family. This is my mom, and this is my older brother, and this ugly baby is your future professor. This is 1980, so it's the same people. Here's my mom, and there's my brother, and there's your future professor. Believe it or not, I had blonde hair as a child. Now I have no hair. That's very disappointing. Anyway, my dear students, my mom is frugal. What does frugal mean? Careful with spending money. Take a look at this. As you can see, this is just a bottle of Coca-Cola. When my mom goes to the supermarket, she does not buy Coca-Cola. She buys generic Coke. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's cola, but not the brand Coca-Cola. And it's usually $2 or $3 cheaper. In my opinion, it doesn't taste as good, but it's cheaper. My mom is frugal because she has to be. She's retired. She lives on a small pension, and I mean, she's doing fine, but she's frugal. And I'll tell you something interesting about my mom. This may not interest you, but I think, so tomorrow, if she became a millionaire, I think she would still be frugal. It's like in her DNA. God bless her. I love her. She's very frugal. Well, anyway, frugal just means being careful with your money. So I am frugal. Actually, I'm not frugal. I should be frugal, but really I'm not. Frugal, careful with your money. Not spending a lot of money on yourself or other things. Okay, moving on. Aha, this next one is a noun. I don't know if you know this one or not. Polymath. Polymath. Wait a minute, I skipped one. Don't let me do that, guys. I skipped several. I'm sorry, the next one, guys, is threshold. I was like, boy, we're really going through this fast. Sorry about that. Threshold, it's a noun. The point at which something begins. Please say it with me. Threshold. Faster. Threshold. Yeah. The point at which something begins. The starting point of an experience or event. Look at the example. I circled it on my handout. The scientist excitedly exclaimed to her colleague, "I do believe we're on the threshold of a great discovery." So there's some good synonyms there. Cusp and brink. So we are, it's kind of like edge. We are on the threshold of a great discovery. In Korean, I know this one. 문지방. Okay, moving on, guys. Oh boy. This next one, some of you will know it's a noun. Anthropology. You may not know it in English, but I know you know it in Korean. Anthropology, the study of humankind. Look at the example. The anthropology major decided to spend the summer in Papua New Guinea. Students, tell me the truth. Do you know Papua New Guinea? Where is Papua New Guinea? I will give you 10,000 points in my heart if you can tell me where Papua New Guinea is. I should make that a bonus question. I'll help you guys. It's an island nation north of Hoju. By the way, this whole island is called New Guinea. This half is Indonesia. So this is all Indonesia going this way. But the other half is the independent nation of Papua New Guinea. This is a really old map from the 19th century of Papua New Guinea. Students, I'm not sure, but I think Papua New Guinea might have been a German colony in the 19th century. Anyway, going back to the example, the anthropology major decided to spend the summer in Papua New Guinea studying a forest tribe that had only been discovered a few years earlier. So guys, anthropology is the study of us. It's a really interesting subject. Do you recognize this person? It's your great 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 grandmother. And mine too. This is just a photograph of some colorful masks. I'm not sure where it was taken. So here's a picture of you, and here is your professor. Look at this man. What is he doing? He's praying. This is an extraordinary photograph. These are Muslim women. I'm not sure, but I think the photograph was taken in Malaysia. Again, these are Muslim men praying. I'm not sure why. I don't know a lot about Islam, but they always pray really close together, shoulder to shoulder, and it creates this extraordinary mosaic. Here are a couple of Jewish boys. I don't know where the photograph was taken, maybe Jerusalem. And you see they're holding a book here that's called the Torah. It's kind of like the Jewish Bible. Oh my God, you might recognize this one. Again, I'm not sure where this was taken, maybe Bamosa. Just a guess, I don't know. Are you scared? Good. You should be. You're in the great game now, and the great game is terrifying. I think this is a beautiful photograph. I'm not sure about the culture, perhaps Tibetan. Please let me know if you know, but she has these, I think they're wooden beads, but if you look closely, you see they're playing with a smartphone, so maybe not so different than us. We are more alike than different. Extraordinary. Last one. Here's a man, and you see there's a large bird. I think it's a hawk. I'm not sure, but I think this photograph was taken in Mongolia. All right, guys, so anthropology, the word is difficult for me to say. Ilnuhak. I'm sorry, my pronunciation is not good. By the way, just a note on language. That character, lu, it does not exist in the English language, and it's difficult for me to replicate. So I apologize for my poor pronunciation. Okay, going back to polymath. Will you say that with me, guys? I'm here. Please say it with me. Polymath. Polymath. 잠시만요. Hey. Before I explain polymath, I need a sip of coffee. A polymath, it's a noun. It's a person who is well educated in several different fields. Key point there, different fields. What do I have here? A person of great learning in several different fields of study. So for example, imagine 3 different majors. And my dear students, typically they are varied. So I don't know if there's a rule, but did you see the leaf hit me? If you major in business administration, economics, and accounting, in my own mind, I would not consider that a polymath, because business administration, accounting, and finance, they overlap and they're similar. I know it's not the exact same thing, but well, let's see here. Well, take a look. Albert Einstein. Is he a polymath? No. Not in my mind. You know, maybe if you go to the internet, you might find a website that describes him so, but he was an expert in one field, quantum physics. I'm sure he was knowledgeable in chemistry and mathematics, but again, it's kind of overlapping and related. A polymath is someone who is an expert in anthropology, economics, and botany. Botany is the study of plants. Guys, polymath, I looked this up on Naver Dictionary, but I didn't write it down, so I can't remember the translation. So, who is considered a polymath? Perhaps the most famous polymath is Leonardo da Vinci. Another example might be the Greek philosopher Aristotle. I've heard him described as a polymath. More recently, the Serbian-American Nikola Tesla. He is considered a polymath. Okay, moving on. This next one, beam. Beam? Do you know beam? I have to take a moment to explain this. Beam means smile. But before we get to that, smile fully from cheek to cheek, like the Joker. But it can also mean light. That's the noun, like a beam of light. Let me just quickly go through this. So take a look here, guys. Here is New York City, a megalopolis, and there is the Twin Towers, the old World Trade Center. As you know, they were destroyed in a terrorist attack in 2001. By the way, just to brag, your professor, I went to the top here in 1986 with my father. So your professor's been there. Anyway, you know the story. They were destroyed, and years and years later, they built a new building in its place. This is called the World Trade Center. Officially, it's called World Trade Center 1. I don't know why they call it that, but anyway, here is the new World Trade Center. But after they were destroyed and before the new one was built, At nighttime, they illuminated the sky with two beams of light to represent the Twin Towers and kind of a memorial to those who were murdered. They don't do this anymore. It's quite extraordinary. I wish they still did it. I think maybe they still do it on the anniversary, but right after the terrorist attacks, it was illuminated every night. But now I think they only do it maybe once a year. I'm not sure. Anyway, these are beams of light. And actually, I didn't know this, but if you get close, you can see it's not just two beams of light, but many singular mini beams of light. I didn't know that, by the way. But from far away, it just looks like two beams of light. Okay, anyway, guys, that is a beam of light. By the way, it doesn't have to be something so strong. It could be a flashlight. But for the test, this is what I want you to know, guys. Look at the verb. It means to smile. Let's see here. If you say that someone is beaming, and this is coming right from your notes here, I underline it, you mean that someone has a big smile on their face because they're happy, pleased, or proud of something. So, beam, to smile, happily. Look at the very last example. I circled it on my handout. You see where I am? Hit pause. Students, this is a very simple example, but it's a good one. The bride was beaming. What does that mean? Light was coming out of her? No. The bride was smiling joyfully. The bride was beaming. And guys, I often hear it used that way, beaming. Look at you. You're beaming. Just someone, who looks very happy. You're beaming. She's beaming. He was beaming. He was smiling. Got it? Okay. That's it. Oh, no. Here are just a few quick examples. A young boy or girl is beaming. Is he beaming? I really like this photograph. She has a radiant smile. Sunlight is in her hair. A beaming smile. Anyway, guys, beam or beaming just means smiling. In my own mind, it just means to smile happily, to smile with joy. That's it. It makes me feel good when I see my students beaming. It's true. Okay, moving on. This next one, maybe you know, it's an adjective, petrified. Do you know this word? Petrified. Please say it with me. Petrified. Guys, when I hear this word, I just think scared, but kind of a technical definition here. So frightened as to be unable to move. That's interesting and an important detail. And incidentally, I underlined it in my handout. You don't have to do it for yours, but it's an important detail. Let's see here. So frightened as to be unable to move, like frozen. In fact, I think that's on your handout. Alabutin, frozen, like a statue. Look at the example. The hikers were petrified the moment they saw the mountain lion. Take a look at this. In North America, so Canada and the United States, we have a large cat. It looks different than the African lion, but It's a mountain lion, and sometimes people call it a cougar. Anyway, the hikers were petrified the moment they saw the mountain lion pounce. Just means jump. They were petrified the moment they saw the mountain lion jump from behind the bush. So, that's petrified. Got it? Good. I've never seen one before. They can be dangerous. And beautiful. Again, they're called mountain lions for a reason. I assume this is on a mountain somewhere. You can see there's some snow on the ground. I don't know how well you can see that. Guys, last night when I was preparing, rehearsing for our lecture, I debated back and forth whether to show you this next photograph. I warn you now, it is disturbing, but I think it's important that you see it. It's part of your education. This is a photograph of an American man who shot a mountain lion, and I find it sickening for two reasons. One, he's beaming. Look at him, he's happy. Oh yeah, this is the best day of his life. Good job, asshole. You killed something beautiful. Remember when we were talking about anthropology, cultural anthropology? American culture is violent, I'm sorry to say. And in America, some people kill for fun. It's, I'm not joking, a sport. Anyway, that's that. Oh, petrified? Anything else? Oh, we're going through this pretty quickly. All right, guys, this last one is the hardest word, but I will tell you right now, it's not on the test. It's a noun. It's hard to say. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Let's say it slowly. I think it's 6 syllables. Ana. Say it with me. Ana. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Now say it a little faster. Onomatopoeia. Anyway, it's not on the test, but you might be thinking, Scott, why are you sharing something that's not going to be on the test? Oh, that's easy. Because I care about you. And it's an interesting aspect of language. So what is an onomatopoeia? This is my own definition, guys. An onomatopoeia are the letters, A, B, C, D, E. It's the letters we give to sounds. Let me say that again. An onomatopoeia are the letters, or in your case, the Korean characters we give to natural sounds, or maybe unnatural. It's just easier if I give you some examples. Look at this. So, my papers are flying away. It's November, and hey, you can see, guys, well, not all, but many leaves have begun to fall. They are falling as I speak, and the leaves are dry. What do I have here? The dry leaves, it makes a sound, like when you're walking. How do you make a word by that sound? In English, we say crunch. I don't know why, but like crunch, crunch, crunch. What do you have? Let's see here. The dry leaves crunched under my feet as I walked through the woods. In Korean, your spelling is a little difficult for me. Basalak, 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 basalak. Yeah. I don't really understand that one. Basalak, 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 basalak. Anyway, we say crunch, crunch, crunch. Look at the next one. A mouse. What sound does a mouse make? In English, we say squeak, 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 squeak. But in Korean, apparently, you say chick, 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 chick. So funny. Here's a mouse. I didn't know a mouse could jump this high. What's next? Oh, this is probably my favorite one. So here is a lion. How do you spell the sound? How do you make that sound? In English, we say roar. And I think I have that. The lion roared as it chased its prey. But in Korean, you say ahung. Am I saying that right, guys? Ahung, ahung. People are looking at me. Oh, this is a hard one. Look at this. So guys, it's getting a little cold. My fingers are cold. I want to make a fire. How do you spell the sound it makes? In English, we say crackle. I don't know why. The fire crackled, keeping the room warm. In Korean, this is hard for me. Hwa, look, look, hwa, look, look, hwa, look, hwa, look, hwa, look. Okay, I would not have guessed. Anyway, next time we're in class, let's make a fire. I really like this last one. By now, you know I love nature, and this is a photograph of a bumblebee. 예쁘다. It reminds me of my childhood. They're pretty gentle, actually. They can sting you, of course, but usually they don't bother people. I was stung when I was a little kid, but it was my fault, not the bees. This bee, I think, is taking a nap inside the flower. And my favorite one, and I even put this on your lecture notes, I liked it so much. So my question to you is, guys, what is the sound of a bee? You know, when it's flying around? In English, we say buzz, like buzz. But I really like this. In Korean, you say wing, 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 wing. Is that right? Wing, 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 wing. So funny. Guys, that's all the vocabulary I have. But regarding onomatopoeia, I just want you to know it does not have to be animals. I'll give you a good example. Maybe you might remember it easier if I show you this. Yes, this is an onomatopoeia. One of my American friends, this is a screenshot from, not mine, but just from the internet. And one of my American friends asked me, what is that? And I explained to him, I said, that's their way of saying, ha ha, right? I think that's correct. Anyway, there are a million examples. I don't want to go over anymore, but pow, boom, depending on the size of it. Anyway, an onomatopoeia are the letters or characters we give to sounds. Okay, guys, I'll stop here. Thank you for participating, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye.